Chicago, New York, London, or Paris. These cities are gradually sinking due to storms, floods, and rising sea levels, narrowing the area of residential land. Flooding cities increases the risk of disease and threatens species. Those are the consequences that climate change in the atmosphere is causing. But recently a very new, quieter threat has been pointed out: underground climate change. The concept of underground climate change was formed to refer to dangers from underground. What is this concept and what are the specific risks? From the Americas, Europe to Asia, almost every large, densely populated city faces the risk of a new type of climate change called underground climate change. In early July, scientists at Northwestern University in the U.S. published research on this relatively new concept. Researchers in the U.S. have used the city of Chicago as a living laboratory to investigate the impact of underground temperature changes on modern buildings and infrastructure. Scientists have studied underground climate change in this city and underground temperatures in Chicago. When studying a bustling, densely populated area with many high-rise buildings, scientists found that the temperature here was 10 degrees higher than the underground temperature of a nearby park. Notably, air temperatures in underground structures in Chicago are even 25 degrees Celsius higher than underground temperatures in neighboring pre-developed areas. This data comes after the team monitored 150 wireless temperature sensors installed around Chicago for 3 years and used computer models to conclude this phenomenon is called underground climate change. Describes the phenomenon of a warming underground environment expanding and contracting, causing damage to structures above that were not designed to withstand this impact. So what is underground climate change? Basically understand underground climate change as the warming of the ground beneath our feet. Due to heat emitted from buildings, basements, parking garages, tunnels, subways, heavy industrial activities such as furnaces, mining and natural underground heat sources, in which all the activities of these structures continuously radiate heat, causing additional heat to accumulate below the cities, and its impact can be so severe that we cannot see it with the naked eye. This is a simulation of the geological cross-section of a city. From the ground down, there are at least 6 different geological layers. These geological layers react to heat differently and they change at different rates, warping the ground and causing damage to structures above. New research shows that underground climate change could cause the ground to swell by up to 12 millimeters, in some places while sinking 8 millimeters. On the other hand, this phenomenon is also related to subsurface urban heat islands, which are heat domes that engulf densely populated cities. Especially places with few trees, few open spaces, lots of concrete with high emissions. Subterranean transformation has not yet posed any direct threat to humans, but in the future with the rapid development of industry, it may pose a risk to buildings. There are no safety standards to deal with this phenomenon and huge costs will be needed to reinforce the infrastructure. Things will become even more complicated when the United Nations affirms that the Earth has now transitioned from the global warming phase to the global warming era. And scientists at Northwestern University also point out that underground climate change is likely to happen in every city in the world. Therefore, urban planning in the future so that big cities generate less heat is an urgent task that each country must consider. Limiting the release of heat into the earth as little as possible is a growing concern in many countries. However, underground heat under cities is also a form of resource, and how to exploit this energy source to become a source of electricity for urban areas is a problem for researchers. Exploited appropriately.